Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is April. I go by Ruby Rouge here on the YouTubes, and thank you so much for stopping by. It is Memorial Day weekend and or Decoration Day if you live in the States, so I would like to take a second to remember those who have passed on and also those who have served our country, and especially those who have passed on serving our country. For those of you who have loved ones that have passed, may you be blessed and supported in your journey, and may you have a great day. Today I am filming from possibly not your favorite angle, but the update for this video kind of crept up on me and I was kind of unprepared, so here we are. But seriously though, I actually don't mind this angle for this update because the focus is really on the palette. And once I quit jabbering, you can get a really nice up close look at the palette. This is the Tiny Pan Project Pan. It's a PANtastic Ladies Collab, and today I am giving you an update. This is the Huda Mauve Obsessions palette after 5 months of use. So here we go. There we are. And yay, I have a new pan. And even better, I have pan. The new pan is in the shade number 9. This is definitely the most challenging shade in this palette. So let's start at the top here and we'll work our way through. I wish I could. That's not too terrible, I don't think. I did do tally marks again for this month and I had 18 new uses, which is 2 less than the goal, but it's still pretty close. So I think I need to up my uses on this palette for the remainder of the months. So if I can remember, I'm going to try to shoot for 25 every month, but just because I'm making progress on this palette, but I don't think it's fast enough to reach a goal of finish by the end of the year. And something else that I came to realize over the last month is that these shadows are actually not really tiny pans. So the joke is on me. They look small, so I assumed. But you know, the ass out of you and me joke, that's relevant here. These shadows are 0.039 ounces a piece, and the MAC single is 0.05. So actually, these are much closer to full-size shadow than I imagined. So that's starting to become apparent as I'm very diligently working on these shadows that had quite a lot of use before. So even coming into this palette, I had quite a bit of use on these. And I'm just still kind of, I feel like I'm making pretty slow progress. But okay, now let's go. Let's go, I promise. Shade 1. I have not used shade 1 in 2 months, so it is still standing at 11 uses. This one was used pretty regularly before the project started. And I should also mention that I don't think these shadows are very hard pressed. So they're definitely not as hard as like a VZR, Too Faced, Urban Decay, but definitely not quite as soft as Lorac. But anytime I've used these with like liners with a stiffer brush, I hit pan relatively quickly. So there's that, but that's shade 1. Shade 2, I did not use. So I'm standing at, it does have a nice little dip in it there, but I'm standing still at 11. I kind of do feel like I actually used this shadow and maybe I just forgot to mark it. But anyways, we'll stick with my marks. Shade 3, I did use 3 more times and I am at 17 uses for this project. I'm really looking to hit pan on this one soon. I'm very, very hopeful. Shade 4, I didn't use and I'm standing at 7 uses for this project. Shade 5, I used shade 5 6 more times and I just don't love this shade. It's okay and it's easy enough for me to wear, but as I mentioned before, the undertones just aren't perfect for me, but I'm using it. I may try frankening it at some point if I really decide I don't like it, but for now I'm just using it as it is. Shade 6. Now this is one of my favorites in this palette and I really do foresee myself using this a lot during the summer, especially once I start traveling and I'm like taking with me on the road like just this palette. I will really start using that. Shade 7. So this is also a favorite for me, if you can't tell. This is the perfect plum for my skin tone. Sometimes it's really hard for me to wear shades of this depth and tone because it looks a little bruisey or dark circly. But this is really a perfect shade for me. So if I could buy this in a single, I definitely would. I've mentioned before that I'm working on a pan, those eyeshadows project pan, and last month I pulled this shade. I'm going to dig out another palette really fast. I pulled this shade, and sorry it looks a little, everything you touch, like if you're trying to, it's definitely like a finger shade, and then I just used green on it, so it just always looks dirty. I don't know. Sorry about that, but here's those two pretty switches. Let's see. There was really no reason to do two. It was just I was trying to wipe that off. But yeah. So anyways, back to why I'm showing you this palette. I've mentioned before that I'm working on a pan, those eyeshadows, Project Pan, and last month I pulled the shade Tart from the Juvia's Place Douce palette. So this is a really interesting shade, and I thought it might work well with this palette, but I'm not sure I'm loving it as much as I thought. But it's certainly okay. I may try it out a few more times because I do ultimately need to use this shadow 20 times. So I'm sure that we will see it paired with this palette again at some point. So moving on, we have shade 8. Still, we're getting a bit of a dip in there. I've used this only one more time. I've mentioned before that I like saving this creamy bone shade for traveling, and I did actually go visit my grandmother this past month. Shade 9 I used 5 more times, and this was the big usage for me this month. This is really the shade that I played with a lot and tried to figure it out. I really wish that I had like a somewhat everyday look for the shadow. I have had these two reddish shades in this palette. So in this palette we have this one and this one, and let's just swatch. I have a swatcher now. I'm going to get back to the formula on this in just a second, but so there's a nice swatch. Let's deepen it up a bit. Yep. Okay, and then okay, this is kind of a mix between, let's look at this. Yeah, so, okay. See, I'm still kind of understanding this palette as we go. Like, its secrets keep revealing itself. So yeah, this is kind of a mix between, but anyways, I have these two sort of reddish shades that aren't the most super easy things to use. I'm seeing more potential in this one though, but regardless, let me quit jumbling. Quit rambling. This palette's hard to use. And it's just not a super everyday shadow. So I've really played with this shadow this month, to come up with a way to like use it regularly and easily. Please give me your suggestions. So this month I tried it out as a liquid shadow, which I definitely knew wouldn't be an everyday look for me, but I just wanted to try it out and see what happened. And the color that it made when I mixed it with the Durline, oh my gosh, was absolutely beautiful. So I didn't think the look came out exactly perfectly, but that color, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with that color. Then I used it as a liner, and I really, really enjoyed that. That's something I could wear somewhat regularly. Like, I would feel comfortable like just wearing that pretty much anywhere. Maybe not like a job interview, but you know what I mean? Like, I would feel pretty comfortable just wearing that. And I was watching a video from Gabby D recently, and she had a red liner, so I was definitely inspired by her. I wanted to give her that shout out because I saw it and I was like, yes, I need to try that. So I think that I would like to use it as a liner a few times, but other than that, I just really don't know what to do with it. I also tried it with the Tarte shade from the Juvia's Place palette, and that was a little bit more of an experiment, and I honestly, I don't know that I loved the look. I didn't love it. It was some okays. But I'm going to show it to you anyways, and yeah. So just let me know your ideas. I'm a little bit afraid to try it with a nail polish. So I see that idea thrown around a lot, and I thought about it, but I'm afraid, like, because it does stain the skin a little bit. So I'm like, I don't know. Is that going to stain my nails? Because that would really upset me. So I'm afraid to try that, I think. And then I kind of want to franken it, but I'm not sure with what color. Maybe like a light pink, maybe? I don't know. So let me know if you have any ideas about that. And that's the other thing about this shadow. The formula is not the absolute best. Sometimes it gets a little patchy, and sometimes it has like a little bit of a stick to it. Like a silicone-y stick, I know. Let's see if I can make it do it real fast. Of course it won't do it if I want it to, but like, yeah, I mean, you can kind of see how it's not perfectly like even all the way across, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it does look a little patchy. But sometimes it looks a little even more patchy. So that's the thing about this formula, like even the formula is not so perfect. So I'm thinking that if I franken it, maybe I can improve the formula a little bit, or, you know, maybe just make a big mess. I don't know. Okay guys, that's the update on this palette. So I'm going to leave you with the lookbook. I am slowing down on photos and eye looks for every month. Last month I had a migraine and I thought I had more photos to edit, but now I can't seem to find them. So I don't know, maybe if I find them at some point I will let you know and I will put them in the video. But anyways, I am slowing down on the amount of photos I'm going to be taking for this palette, because really at this point I've just used it so much that I'm running out of ideas. So unless I come across some inspiration, I'm most likely just going to be repeating looks that I've already done with the palette to get my usage out of it. So hopefully over the summer when I'm just busier and traveling, hopefully I'm traveling, I got to make up for last year. Is anybody feeling the pressure to do that? Anyways, so hopefully I'll just be using it, kind of repeating looks and just getting some use out of it at this point. Thank you everyone so much for stopping by and checking out my progress on the Mauve Obsessions palette, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!